Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to this course for absolute beginners. We are so pleased that you have joined us. Today, we are going to cover lesson 4 of this course for absolute beginners. As has been mentioned before, this course has been prepared for absolute beginners. So, not to worry if you have never played a guitar before. We will take you step by step so that by the end of this course, you will be able to play a hymn along with us. So, we've learned a lot so far. We've learned some great tips on how to play the guitar. We've also learned about the parts of the guitar in getting to know your guitar. Next, we moved on to the different types of guitars. After this, we learned how to tune our guitars. We then learned that each finger is recognized by a number. This makes it so much easier to understand what finger we must use when we are learning to play chords. We then moved on to the introduction of the G chord. And now, in our final lesson, we will learn to play the hymn, Send the Light. So, with this introduction out of the way, let's get started. Chord D7. Your first hymn will be Send the Light. The whole hymn can be played using just 2 chords. The chords used are the G chord and the D7 chord. The G chord can be played as full chord or the simple G chord. Both versions are pictured here. As this is an absolute beginner's course, and as I want you to be able to play a hymn quickly, we will use the simple G chord. As you progress with your playing ability, you can graduate yourself to the full G chord. The simple G chord is played by placing finger number 4, the pinky finger, just behind the 3rd fret. When strumming the simple G chord, you should strike only the bottom 3 strings. Hint: pick the bottom 3 strings one at a time to test if your fingering is good. If any strings sounds muted, check the position of the 4th finger. It may be too far back from the fret, or not enough pressure is being applied. You should apply just enough pressure so that the note rings well. Pressing too hard will cause finger pain. The D7 chord is played by placing your fingers on the fretboard as shown on this diagram before we attempt to play our first hymn. Now let's first get familiar with how to form the D7 chord. I like to form the D7 chord by first getting fingers number 2 and number 3 in place, like this. Once these fingers are in place, finger number 1 will fall into its place on the B string directly behind the 1st fret very easily. Now, strum downwards like this. Remember to check all the strings that they are ringing out correctly by plucking the strings one at a time, like this. Once you are able to form the D7 chord, we next have to learn how to transition from the G chord to the D7 chord. Let's practice transitioning from the G chord to the D7 chord. For this exercise, we will be using downstrokes only. Take special care to strum at a slow, consistent pace. Counting out loud or using a metronome can help. We will be transitioning on every fourth stroke. I can't state enough. Strum slowly. You will learn a lot faster if you do this. So let me demonstrate. Let's practice together.
Oh!
1, 2, 3, 4. Switch. 2, 3, 4. Switch. 2, 3, 4. Switch. 2, 3, 4. Switch. 2, 3, 4.
That's great practice, kids.
Oh, teacher!
Yeah, I remember what I was going to ask, so can I go to the restroom, please?
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I guess that was important.
Keep practicing until you can transition chords easily. Practice for at least 15 minutes per day. You don't have to transition fast. Just watch the chords are formed correctly. When you are able to transition chords, you will be ready to play the first hymn. As always, practice slow, learn fast. So, practice up, and in our next lesson, we will start to learn our first hymn. I can't believe it's already time to learn to play our first hymn. Time seems to have flown by. Are you excited like I am? Well, let's listen to this hymn to calm ourselves down, and then we'll begin to learn our first hymn. We hope you enjoy the hymn, and we will resume our lessons very soon.
Here
hope you enjoyed that hymn. So, let's continue the course and begin to learn how to play Send the Light. So let's get started. So, you've done it. You have reached the time to learn your first hymn. We will be learning Send the Light. The whole hymn can be played with just 2 chords. We will be using only downstrokes for the entire hymn. Here are the lyrics and chords for verse 1 of the hymn, Send the Light. We will start the hymn by strumming slowly down while using the G chord. As you can see, there are letters above certain lyrics on the hymn. The bold letters are there to indicate that a change to a new chord is required. So, for example, the letter D7 is above the word light. This means that we must change to chord D7 when we reach the part of the hymn that says light. We keep holding that chord until a new chord is above another letter. So, let's get started. We will strum G until we reach the word light, at which point we will switch to chord D7. The color of the letter for the chord on the screen will change to green when it is time to switch notes. So let's get started with verse 1.
There's a call comes ringing for the restless wave. Send the light, send the light. There are souls to rescue, there are souls to save. Send a light, send a light.
Okay, I think we are ready to begin with the chorus. Playing it is similar to verse 1. We will start the chorus by strumming slowly down while using the G chord. As you can see, there are letters above certain lyrics on the hymn. The bold letters are there to indicate that a change to a new chord is required. So for example, the letter D is above the word shine. This means that we must change to chord D7 when we reach the part of the hymn that says shine. We keep holding that chord until a new chord is above another letter. So let's get started, kids. We will strum G until we reach the word shine, at which point we will switch to chord D7. The color of the letter for the chord on the screen will change to green when it is time to switch notes. Let's start with the chorus.
Send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine forevermore.
Kids, you're almost there. For the rest of the hymn, just keep repeating the chords for the verse and chorus. Practice the verse and the chorus for 15 minutes per day, and before you know it, you will be playing and singing the hymn Send the Light. Well, kids, you've reached the end of the guitar lessons for absolute beginners. I am so glad that you joined us. thank you for being with us and keep practicing. Bye now. Amen. So we have reached the end of this course. I hope that you have learned a lot today and that you will be practicing every day so that you can be playing the hymn Send the Light very soon. So, at this moment, I would just like to take some time to thank all those that are involved in the production of this lesson. Most importantly, I want to thank you for joining us, the viewing audience, and being with us for our guitar lessons. I pray that you learned something and that you will be playing the hymn Send the Light very soon. Have a good day and bye-bye for now.
There's a clock comes ringing on the restless way. Send the light, send the light. There are souls to rescue, there are souls to save. Send the light, send the light, send the light. The blessed gospel light, let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine forevermore. Spread thy grace, may everywhere abound. Send the light, send the light. And the Christ-like Spirit everywhere be found. Send the light, send the light, send the light. The blessed gospel light, let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine forevermore. Let us not grow weary in the work of love. Send the light, send the light. Let us gather jewels for a crown above. Send the light, send the light, send the light. The blessed gospel light, let it shine from shore to shore. Send the light, the blessed gospel light, let it shine